Hello. So today I wanted to tell you a story, and mostly from Arizona. A lot of crazy stuff happens there. So one day I decided to go and buy the Jewish Havdalah candle, and that is ending the Sabbath, right? And then so what I did was that I went, but I always put on my Jesus hat, and it's good when you're in Arizona because you feel like your scalp is burning, so you need something to cover your head. So I went. Sometime I forget that I got the hat on. So I went to a place called Imperial Market. So I went and I bought the Hatala candle, and I bought, I think, the challah bread there, right? So then I was walking my way to the bus stop, and what happened was there was a Hasidic Jewish person there, a man, very tall. So what happened is that he looked at me, and his eyes kind of like rolled over to the side like this, and he got me this weird smile. So I'm looking at this. There was a Hispanic lady sitting there, and all of a sudden he was pacing back and forth, right? So she was looking at me, I was looking at her like, what is this, And then all of a sudden, in front of us, because the thing about Phoenix, they have a lot of they don't use barely any grass because of the heat, right? So they put pebbles and rocks. So this guy was picking up rocks and looking at me, picking up rocks and looking at me. And the lady looked at me and she said, I wonder what he's gonna do with those rocks. And I'm like, okay, I get it, I have the Jesus hat on. Even the guy that was in the Imperial Market, I don't know who he is, if he's the owner or he works there, he was looking at me strange. And I forgot about it. I completely forgot about it. So she looked at me scared. I looked at her and I looked at him because I was just waiting for him to try to hit me with the stones. And I was just waiting because I was like, I got my phone. I'm with the 911 dial on it. I wasn't gonna go after him. It's impossible, right? He was very skinny, very tall. He could just outrun me. And this is basically what I encountered when I was over there. And so when you walk around with the Jesus gear, like I did with the hat, I got a few. I still have them here. But here is not the same issue as over there in Arizona. You really have to cover your head in Arizona. So I encounter both things. I encounter the negative and the positive. People who needed prayer, and people who hated. So that's basically the story. I just wanted to let you know that the Jesus gear is something that we need to have on. I think the easiest thing is a hat, and because everybody now wearing the hat, right? Okay. So I think that's what. Oh, and the story about the lady that was in the bus stop. It was strange because usually I take my son out on the weekends, right? And he loves to hike. So I was going again, I think, to Pius Tower Peak. I think it was to Pius Tower Peak because that's the bus that takes you there. And I encountered her again. And she looked different, completely different. I mean, her face was clearing up from all that stuff that she was doing. Like she was, I think they were pinching their faces because I also saw it in the bus. And she was like, oh, this lady here, she let me stay in her backyard. And then I got a call from my daughter that she's having a baby, so she's gonna send me money to go and live with her. These two dummies. This is Apophis and Mimo. They are just... So anyway, that's pretty much the story. I really wanted to make a little book about the things that happen in Arizona, which is pretty much very supernatural things. Arizona is something special, you know. Prophet William Marion Brown um, told God that whenever he passed away, he wanted to be in a place like Arizona. I think more like Tucson. I think he was a lot there. So, but something special about Arizona. I don't know what it is. It's very supernatural, and encountering the supernatural, once you kind of get used to it, it's not as supernatural anymore, right? But you just have to stay on guard, especially if you have the Jesus gear. I had a red truck following me, a red pickup truck following me, and I was like, okay, got it, you know. I mean, I go to one street, and he will be right there, and then I go to the different street, and he would be right there. So I'm like, is he trying to run me over or what? And you know, I can imagine with the apostles and well, I read a few things about, and but it's not canonical books. That's the problem, and that's really where the true history of what was going on was, you know. So so this is just a little story, you know. It might help you when you start encountering the supernatural. God bless you.